Oh, hello. So it seems that somebody is looking to learn how to play Yuumi. And you've come to the right place. So sit down, grab a book, some reading glasses, and a nice cup of coffee. Because that's all you're gonna really need to know if you want to learn how to play Yuumi. Okay guys, but all jokes aside, Yuumi is a great champion and I am going to tell you why. What is going on guys, Hunter Medusa here bringing you guys a brand new video. Today we are going to be talking about how to play Yuumi. Yes, the lovable, annoying, floating cat that everybody loves and hates all at the same time. Now Yuumi is a support and she is a very strong support, so let's jump right into the video. So first off, we have Pop and Block. Now what this essentially is her passive, and periodically whenever Yuumi attacks an enemy champion, it does restore a little bit of her mana while as well giving her a little bit of a shield. So you can use that to your advantage to where if you're running out of mana or every once in a while you can become unattached and actually get some of your mana back, as well as a small little shield in return for Yuumi being so squishy and she just is trying to get some mana back. So let's move into her Q. This is going to be called Prowling Projectile. So this is going to be a projectile that when Yuumi is by herself shoots in a straight direction. Now it has a certain radius that it follows, but if Yuumi follows that radius, it travels for a longer distance. If it travels for at least 1 second, it does actually cause the enemy champion to be slowed. So that's good to know. However, if Yuumi is attached to an enemy champion, this projectile is something that she's actually able to control. So she's able to curve it around, wiggle it around, whatever it may be. She's able to actually control that missile. However, it does have a radius and if you actually go outside of that radius, it just cancels and dissipates. So it's not the easiest to try to control, but once you figure it out, it's actually pretty simple. So again, shoots in a straight direction. If she is unattached, she can control it, and as long as it flies for at least 1 second, it does slow. So let's look at her W. This is going to be you and me. So just a second ago, I talked about Yuumi being attached. Now this is what her W is. So essentially, she can attach herself to a champion, as you can see on screen at certain points of the game. Well, for most parts of the gameplay, and it actually applies a little bit of a buff to them, and it gives them a little bit of adaptive damage based on level. So it makes them a little stronger. It does give them a little damage, and Yuumi is untargetable while she is attached to somebody. So she can't be like attacked. The only thing that can actually target her while she is attached is a turret. So if she goes under the turret with somebody and maybe hits them with a Q or her ultimate or whatever it may be, the turret actually can target her. So that's something you need to be careful about. You're not completely invulnerable, but you are from anything in the game other than turrets. Now let's look at her E. This is going to be called the Zoomy. Now essentially what this does is it actually heals Yuumi for a % amount, as well as like it does scale off of AP. So I can't give you an exact number, but it does heal her quite a bit actually. Now, if she's attached to somebody, it'll actually heal the champion that she's attached to instead of her. And while it does heal them, it also grants them attack speed and movement speed. So now again, all of this you can see on screen through like points of the video. You'll see me attached to Rammus and use my E ability, kind of like I just did on myself, and it does speed them up and it does give them attack speed as well as movement speed. So it's something that isn't just used to heal somebody or keep them healthy, but it can be used as an escape or even as an engage, because having the ability to heal and speed up, if you can get onto somebody that's an engage like Rammus or Warwick or somebody along those lines, you're able to keep them healthy while engaging, which is very important. And it also does justify healing your ADC because it does offer that attack speed buff, and it's quite a bit. I believe at like level 5 it's like 50% attack speed, I believe. So it is quite a significant buff that she does give, and it lasts for about 1 or 2 seconds. So let's look at her ult. Now this is going to be called Final Chap. Now what it does is it shoots out a bunch of beams, kind of like Sona's ult, but repeatedly, and if someone is caught in that and the wave hits them 3 times, kind of like you're seeing currently, then they are stunned. It does do damage as it pulses out, but it's not a whole lot of damage. It's mainly used to stun. Now, one thing that you do have to understand with Yumi's ult is if you aim it in a certain direction, you cannot change the direction. So it's very similar to Lucian's ult, if you kind of can picture that. So it's nothing too crazy. It's very self-explanatory. Again, it's meant to engage or maybe disengage from a fight because she can stun. Now if you can aim it properly and you can hit all three of those, it can be really strong at first. Now, the only learning curve that comes with using her ultimate and learning how to use her ultimate properly is just learning how the direction works. So if you need to detach from the champion you're attached to ensure that the ult keeps hitting the enemies, then by all means go for it. You don't have to stay attached to somebody, because if you're attached and you use your ultimate and then you detach from them, the ultimate will follow you, not them. So you can, navigate however you need to ensure that the ultimate does continue to hit them. Okay, so let's look at some of the runes that you're going to want to be taking as you are playing Yuumi. Now, she is a sorcerer and she is a protector, so this means that you're going to want to take Summon Airy, because even if you do attach to somebody, it does give them a little bit of a shield. So if they're in a pinch and you really don't have mana for your heal ability, or it's not up yet, still being able to transfer over to them to give them a little bit of a shield is still a great option. With that, you're going to want to take Mana Flow Band, Absolute Focus, and Scorch. These are going to be the three that you're going to want to take. The Scorch is great for early game because Yuumi does a lot of damage early game, but adding that extra damage is always nice, because she does fall off quite heavily towards the end in the damage department, just because she still is the second tree is going to be totally up to you. I will give you my preference, and that's the Inspiration Tree with Biscuit Delivery and Time Warp Tonic. I like to do that because Yuumi soaks mana. All she does is take up mana, because you really don't have to worry about health that much, because you are attached to your laner for the majority of the time, but you are going to be using your spells quite often, and you're going to be healing and all of this stuff, and so she does really need all the extra help that she can get when it comes to mana. Now, what items are you going to be looking for? Well, that again is really up to you. Yuumi can surf through so many different items that it's really up to you. If you want to play a little more defensive, then you go for it, because she is squishy. She is so squishy, and if you're by yourself or you're attached to somebody and maybe the person you're attached to dies, it's really hard to escape as Yuumi if you don't have your flash. Again, any items, maybe a chalice. A chalice is always a great option. You go with a Shirelia's Reverie. That's another great option because it does increase the speed movement buff that you can give to your allies or to the person you're attached to, maybe for an engage or disengage. Honestly, it's 100% up to you. You just want to make sure that you are warding as often as possible and being the good support that I know that you can. Now, let's look at how you're going to want to play Yuumi. How are you going to want to take this little cat and turn it into a W for your ranked queue? Well, let me tell you. Number one, in the early game, you are going to want to be as annoying as possible. You're going to want to shoot out your Q ability as often as you can. You're going to want to be constantly healing and just poking and just being aggressive, because Yuumi is so great at pumping out the early damage. If you really just sit back and you just sit there, then there's really no reason for you to really be playing Yuumi, because what she excels at is being aggressive. Now, I know, I've seen the memes, including the one at the beginning of this video, where people just play Yuumi and they just go AFK. It kind of feels that way, but at the same time, when you start to get to higher elos or you start to watch high elo gameplay of people playing Yuumi, you can see that they're paying attention at all times and they're looking to see who needs the most help. Yuumi is so great at, if someone is really fed on your team, attach to that person and maybe follow them around for a little bit. If bot lane is falling behind, leave your AD to get some solo XP so that she can start to level a little bit quicker, and you'll be able to go keep the snowball rolling with the laner that is actually dominating. I do that all the time as I play Yuumi, because it makes them even harder to kill and it helps you get a little XP as well. And again, being a protector, you really don't have a whole lot to offer except for your ultimate. And when it starts to get to the later stages of the game, yes, the heal is going to be nice and it's going to have a lot of sizz, but your ultimate is really going to be what's really important. I'm not saying that your heal is worthless, but it's not going to be as great as the later the game gets, because people are just going to be stronger. So that is a general idea on how to play Yumi, talking about how to play her properly, some of the items, all of that great stuff that I've included. So if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like as well as a comment down below. It really helps me out. And let me know what you think of Yumi. Is she broken? Is she worthless? Do you hate it when people play her? Or when you see that your support locks in Yumi, do you get super excited? Or when you get the chance to play Yumi, do you get super excited? Just let me know. Just let me know. And also let me know down in the comments, right there, what champion you want to see me cover next. I know YouTube is full of how to play each champion, but sometimes it's nice to get the perspective from multiple people, not just one person all the time. So let me know which champion you want to see next, because I'm just pulling them out of a hat right now, and I keep getting ones that I am not the greatest with, and so I have to train for like a week. Just let me know. And if you guys could as well, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps me out and lets me know that you guys enjoy the videos that I make and the content that I create. Now, with that being said, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And thank you for joining the Stone Army.